Hi there, and thank you for visiting Z Taxi. We're going to learn about 10 indicators that someone finds you attractive in secret today. Let's get started now. Do you think you're attractive? Everyone wants to know what other people think of them, yet figuring out someone's true attractiveness is difficult. Our attractiveness changes depending on our surroundings, our actions, and the tastes of others around us. You never know who could find you irresistible. Maybe you're not their kind of person the next day. Does it imply that you're a handsome person? Perhaps, but perhaps not. We are aware that everyone is not equally appealing. There isn't a set list of characteristics that define attractiveness. You could receive 20 different replies if you ask 20 people what attributes they find most appealing. Even though attraction might be enigmatic and elusive, we can recognize it when we experience it. We can tell when someone catches our eye from across the room and causes our hearts to race, even if we are unable to put into words why we are drawn to them. Stated differently, while the characteristics of a beautiful person are not always known, we may see how they act and behave when they are attracted to someone. After all, attraction is mostly a social phenomenon. Our preferences are very different from one another, yet our techniques of expressing attraction are very uniform. We frequently rely on a short repertoire of routines and actions to either catch someone's attention or establish a deeper connection. These behaviors can be very straightforward to identify if you know what to look for, but there is one major issue. Sometimes, people will do anything to conceal their passions and emotions. They could be considering you, but they don't want you to know for whatever reason. It's likely that more individuals you already know are drawn to you than they'd be prepared to acknowledge. Thus, how can you tell whether there are any individuals in your life who are secretly drawn to you? We're going to learn how to interpret the covert signs of attraction in this video. You might not be aware of your attractiveness right now. Perhaps you're concerned that you won't be liked by everyone as much as you would like. However, you can be more attractive than you realize if you catch these subtle indicators of desire. 1. The area of attraction: are they standing or sitting too near to you? Those who are attractive struggle to keep their personal space. Individuals frequently approach one another too closely and enter the attraction zone. Consider the 3 concentric zones that make up your personal space. People you don't truly know, such as acquaintances or strangers, live in the outermost zone. Those you know but don't necessarily wish to get close to, like friends or coworkers, belong in the second zone. Love partners and close friends occupy the innermost zone, which is also referred to as the attraction zone. Although it might be difficult to draw clear lines between these areas, we can usually utilize personal space to discern how individuals feel about one another. Someone may not feel as strongly as they claim to if they say they like you yet prefer to keep their distance. However, if someone you've just met steps into the attraction zone, they could be secretly infatuated with you. 2. The enticement sound: many individuals interpret flirtation and attraction primarily based on visual signals, but audio cues may also be quite telling, particularly when someone is trying to hide their feelings. Research has indicated that when we are around the people we want, our voices alter. Thus, you could detect a change in someone's voice pitch or tone if they are drawn to you. When we are around attractive people, our voices shift for a variety of reasons. To seem stronger and more manly, a guy can, for instance, lower the tone of his voice. Some people may alter their voice in an attempt to attract attention or come off as more confident, or they may just be uneasy. Either way, you're probably more appealing than you realize if you hear people's voices altering. 3. Mirroring: in psychology, we often mimic or duplicate the actions of someone we find appealing. Should they fold their arms, we may follow suit. We might bend forward in response if they do. We frequently act as though our body are moving on their own when we perform these activities. This is what's actually happening, though. One of the ways we get to know someone is by mirroring them. We mimic their words, facial gestures, and nonverbal cues in an attempt to establish a connection. Our aim is to establish a stronger bond with them by creating a feeling of intimacy and similarity. If you see others imitating your actions, it's likely that they have a crush on you. 4. No one approaches you. This is a fact about attraction that you may not be aware of. Many of the world's most attractive people sometimes feel unnoticed and underappreciated. They never receive romantic attention, which makes them question their own attractiveness. Let's examine the reasons for this. Individuals who find you really beautiful could assume certain things about you. They think you're inundated with praise and attention all the time because they see how attractive you are. They don't bother entering the ring since, in their opinion, you're inundated with suitors all the time. What would happen, though, if everyone had the same incorrect assumption? That is how those who are lovely get to feel unnoticed. Everyone feels as though they are overflowing with praise, so nobody ever approaches. You can assume that no one is interested in you since no one approaches you, but that couldn't be further from the reality. 5. Ineffective discussions. Do you find it easier to form relationships with new people? People who are attractive could have more positive social encounters than others. They discover that most individuals are pleasant and amiable. Their discussions frequently have a natural flow to them. It's not that handsome people are great conversationalists, rather, it's just that they rarely have uncomfortable silences and have no problem carrying on with their talks. Because someone else may be carrying out the bulk of the work for them, their relationships appear effortless. We usually exert more effort when we are among attractive individuals. We show our curiosity by posing a lot of inquiries. Why? As we want them to feel the same way about us that we do. Observe how your talks flow to determine your level of attractiveness. It's likely that someone is drawn to you if they exhibit a strong sense of curiosity about your life. 6. The adoring gaze. Oftentimes, you can tell someone is attractive just by looking in their eyes. Unconsciously, we often find ourselves staring at the individuals we want. Despite our best efforts to turn away, our eyes are drawn to the people we most want. If you're someone who is secretly gorgeous, you could be used to others staring at you. They could immediately turn their heads away and appear to be looking at something else when you glance back. However, it doesn't take long for them to look back at you. Why? Because they really want you more than anybody else in private. 7. The humor bias. Studies reveal that, despite not being any funnier than the rest of us, beautiful individuals are able to make people grin or laugh at them. Nearly everything they say is met with approval. They seem to be funny to everyone, even when they make a dumb joke. There is a tendency in our brains toward handsome people. Because we can't get enough of them, we think they're funnier than they actually are. If you're someone who is secretly gorgeous, you may have gone through something similar in the past. Even if what you say isn't hilarious, people could still find it funny. You may not understand how gorgeous you are, but you question whether you have a fantastic sense of humor. 8. Charm of the social circle. People who are attractive have a unique social attraction. Individuals aspire to be more like you rather than simply closer. They thus begin to mimic your actions, following you around like a shadow affixed to your feet. They trail you into adjacent rooms as you move. When you take a seat at a table, people gravitate toward you. You can feel like a trendsetter because you're an attractive person. Others may start to gravitate toward you and follow in your footsteps. You could already be so alluring to others that they can't resist you if you ever feel like a social magnet. 9. The exhibition of talents. Have you ever conversed with someone who is always boasting about their accomplishments? They brag about their wealth or the vehicle they drive. They mention well-known individuals by name as though it will make you like them. People may be boasting around you for reasons other than just being conceited or entitled, despite your perceptions to the contrary. Many people experience anxiety and insecurity when they are among gorgeous people. They want to be seen and valued by individuals such as yourself. Why? As everyone is already aware of your amazing and beautiful qualities. People around you seem to be trying to prove something. To level the playing field, they can start boasting. They may speak a great game, but in reality, you are the source of their insecurity. Regardless of how much they showcase their skills, you will always leave them more amazed. 10. Expressing their current situation. This is a typical attractiveness indication that most people miss. People could go out of their way to disclose their relationship status if they find you appealing. They say things like, "I don't even think about my ex anymore," or, "I'm so single right now." Comments such as this promote their accessibility. People particularly want you to know that they think you're beautiful, which is why they're single. Similar to other indicators on this list, context is crucial in this case. For instance, disclosing one's present status could not be romantic if the person is dissatisfied over a previous relationship. However, if someone repeatedly expresses to you how single they are, it's possible that they have a crush on you. We appreciate you watching Z Taxi, and we hope you will subscribe so we can bring you more amazing stuff in the future.